Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Veronica and today I am building a wedding venue, and that is because my sim in my legacy challenge, Jenny, she's getting married soon. She got engaged recently on the top of the mountain Kamarabi in the snowy escape world. She and her boyfriend are gonna plan their wedding next episode, I think, and I was planning to make some kind of a custom wedding venue for me to use. At first, I thought about using that beach wedding venue which comes with the pack, but I thought that it is winter when I play right now, and when they're gonna get married, it's probably gonna be spring. So I do not want to depend on the weather really much, and I do not want to cheat it away. So if in case the weather is not gonna be fine, I probably will just celebrate most of the wedding inside. And if I did pick a beach wedding venue, there is no inside, so you have nowhere to hide. So I decided that maybe I should make something more practical, so that probably the ceremony is done only outside, but you can do some other fun activities outside or inside, like whatever you like to do. So this lot is mostly like some kind of a wedding venue rental. I also did place a bedroom upstairs so that you can literally stay here overnight. And I was planning to make some imaginary stuff, like probably my Sims, they did go to this lot. They rented this out for the whole weekend. Probably they have some kind of a vacation here. So they're staying upstairs. They're just maybe making some preparations, like trying on dresses and stuff. And downstairs, they all the celebration area so that they do not have to leave the lot to celebrate their wedding. And that was my initial idea, and I thought that I executed it well. And in case if you have forgotten something, maybe you lack some food, I did place a couple of buffets in here, and I did place here a whole kitchen just in case. Probably you want to bake yourself a cake. Like, who knows? Maybe you want to. Or maybe you want to cook something special. Maybe a buffet table didn't give you any vegetarian options, and your sim is a vegetarian and he's hungry. And your sim will be able to just go to the kitchen and cook something for himself. As I said, upstairs we will have a whole bedroom, and I also did place an ensuite bathroom for this bedroom so that maybe a freshly married couple is staying upstairs and they can use the bathroom for themselves. And as I said, I did place the whole ceremony stuff outside, so we have a wedding arch there, an aisle, a couple of chairs, not a couple, a bunch of chairs. I also did place there a piano in case if you want to hire an entertainer or a musician so that they will sit out there and play the piano. And I did use that beautiful piano from the wedding pack. It's really beautiful. I really love the way it looks, but maybe I'm a bit biased because I was attending musical school for maybe 9 years and I was playing piano my whole life, except for maybe last 7 years because I do not have a piano anymore. And I decided to make this whole lot kind of pink, and I have noticed that it goes with me for a couple of builds now. That apparently my sim Jenny, for whom I did build this whole wedding venue, she loves pink, and you can see that in some details. Like, she has all of her bathrooms, her private bathrooms, of course, they all are pink. She has the whole pink bedroom in her house. And that is why I did name this whole wedding venue a pink wedding venue. And I already did place this slot on the gallery like a week ago. You can find it by my gallery name gloverunt, just like my YouTube name. It's pronounced the same. I did place it with my YouTube name hashtag, just in case you have trouble to find it. And you probably have noticed that there are these kind of bar shelves which are placed on the wall, like wall decorations, and they have this glowing background, which I kinda hate because it looks ugly, I think. So I do not try to use it that much, but I figure that if I place the whole wall high mirror behind that, this whole glowing stuff is not visible and it's just a mirror, and it looks much more classy if you do it like that. So I decided to play with that here. And as you might have also noticed, I'm using here a million of packs. Like, of course, most of the exterior is my wedding stories. also a base game, of course, but I use a lot of tiny details from every single pack imaginable. Like, I checked that I was using the only thing from the Forent expansion pack, and that was a flower. So if you do not have any of the packs listed in this build, you can just check. Maybe it's just some kind of tiny thing like a flower or a chair somewhere or stuff like that. And I was using a lot of cottage living upstairs in the bedroom because I really love cottage living bedroom. And you might have noted that when the first I was painting all the walls, I did paint the bedroom upstairs blue, and I also did paint the bathroom upstairs beige. But then I thought that the whole build is pink. What am I trying to do painting these blue and beige? So I decided that it's gonna be pink as well. Like, it's gonna be tied in with the whole build better if I do it that way. And you might have also noted that we have the whole gallery wall, and this gallery wall is all the way up upstairs, and I decided to place it so that the whole upstairs just doesn't look as boring. And I do not like leaving some empty spaces in my builds. You might have noticed that, but I sometimes tend to overclutter my builds, so to the extent that they're not functional anymore. And I try to work on that. I try to limit myself with that, but I manage poorly. And just the thing to say, I did not overclutter this bedroom. I just did place there some necessities and a couple of decor. I did not place a lot of clutter stuff on all the shelves like I usually do. I did try to place here most of the necessities you might need in the game, so in case you maybe forgot to buy your wedding cake, I have a computer. You can order that and it will just appear in your Sims inventory, so nothing is lost. And also, I should tell you that I did landscape the whole lot a lot, like I usually do too. I just like heavily landscaped lot. It doesn't look empty this way and it looks much more fun, I think. And I did make this some kind of weird tiny side yard later, and you will see there are some death traps in here. And I like placing stuff like that so that maybe somebody who was invited to your wedding didn't meet a hungry cow plant and died. Or probably somebody decided to wish for something in a wishing well and they died, because it happens too. So I thought that maybe I can do something from a little bit of chaos in here. I also wanted to place here a telescope, but then I thought that maybe it won't be really smart of me to do so, because it's a wedding venue after all, and a cow plant and a wishing well kind of makes sense, and not a telescope, of course, not a telescope, so I did not place it here. And as for the bedroom, I did make some kind of a tiny living area in the bedroom, so where maybe a couple of your Sims can just sit and communicate with each other. Like maybe these are wedding guests or your relatives who are gonna help you prepare to the whole ceremony. I had some troubles trying to decorate that because the space is quite small and I wanted to place there some stuff. And at first I thought about placing there a coffee table, but then I thought that it's probably a bad idea because it takes a bit too much space and probably your Sims won't be able to walk by that. So a bit later I will delete this coffee table because it's not necessity. I would just place some kind of a tiny side table underneath the window. And I think it makes much more sense than a coffee table in like a tiny living area in the bedroom. I think that this bedroom turned out quite nicely, a bit cottagey, but also a bit fancy. And I think that metal frame bed kind of makes sense in a rented area, like it's much easier to clean. It doesn't grow mold inside or stuff like that if it treated poorly like some wooden bedroom beds do. So I decided to probably just make it look kinda nice, but a bit worn off. Like you have seen that the cabinet which I did place under the window is a bit worn off. And that was my primary idea, so that we have a kind of fancy wedding venue on the stairs, but the bedroom is not so fancy, but it's still nice. So that was my idea. And I did make a toilet in here kind of fancy too. Like we have a tub in the middle of the wall which has gaps on two sides of it, which I filled with the flowers because I do not like leaving empty gaps in my builds. And I hope that this build is actually quite functional. And I think you might have noticed while I was recoloring the whole bedroom, somehow the whole outside of the house is already done. And then I go downstairs and it's not done anymore. And that is because I had to recolor the whole bedroom after I finished the whole build. I thought that maybe it would look a bit wrong if I just, in the end of the build, you see me going back to the bedroom and trying to redo that. So I decided to maybe swap some parts of my speed build, and this time we have the whole bedroom done before the exterior done, but in real life it was the opposite way around. Like I did the whole exterior before I did recolor the bedroom. And in here, I was using some debug flowers, some debug trees. I did not use much of debug flowers, but I thought about it. But I used a couple of trees from my wedding stories debug, and I did use them because there are a lot of trees like that in the whole environment around. But mostly I was using base game, of course, and I was using romantic garden stuff pack. And I was using that just because, it looks nice. The flowers there are beautiful, and I like these tall ones because they fill the area quite nicely. And I was placing here a lot of bushes. This whole build has like a really nice nature, not natural, but really nice outside lighting. You might have noticed that before, but I like to give my build some pretty outside lighting. And I think that it just tied the build in, and it is nice when your house looks pretty not only in the daytime but also in the nighttime. And yeah, you have seen already a couple of death traps I did place in here, and it's the only fenced area in here. At first, I thought about fencing in the whole wedding ceremony area, but then I thought that maybe it's not worth that because it would be nice to make a couple of nice photos during this wedding, and it would be much easier if we do not have any fences around. I think that by this moment you can already see pretty much the whole idea of the build, and probably I should skip into the game and show you what I ended up with. So this is the final product, and as you see I did place these pin beads of light all around the place, and that is why I like really much the way this whole wedding venue looks at night. Like you see, it's literally glowing. We have a lot of flowers all around the place. It's like really bright in flowers, so I think that the way this place looks will be really dependent on the weather outside or on the season, so it's mostly a summer wedding venue. But I did place all of these evergreen flowers all around the wedding art so that you can still take a good wedding photos even if it's winter or spring. And my Sims will be getting married in spring, so we need some all year long pretty space for wedding photos. And by the May building, we have a couple of sitting areas outside. When you enter the building, we have a tiny coat rack so that you can just place here your coat in case the weather is not really nice. I know that it is a bit annoying, but it's what we have to do. And in here we have some kind of a sitting area, a sign which tells like this is the wedding of this and this person, like people usually do that. I know that this shelf is supposed to be some kind of a bar stuff, but I imagine maybe this is a present shelf. In here we have another sign which is like a list of the seats. I think a lot of big weddings have this kind of stuff. This room divider I decided to place in here to just divide some kind of utility area, because here we have a bathroom and a kitchen, and kitchen literally has everything you need, even an urn. Here we have sitting area with some kind of a buffet. Here we have a bar, and that is pretty much the whole first floor. On the second floor, you have seen during the build, we have some sitting area, a computer, a useful item I would say. In here we have a bedroom, so you can literally switch this whole house to a rental and just rent it out. Like, it's a beautiful area around here, so it would be a nice spot for rental. And this lot was rental at first. I just switched it for my wedding purposes. And also on the first floor, let us go back. On the back patio, we have this beautiful pergola, and it was maybe my main inspiration for the whole build. I wanted to tie it in with the whole surroundings, but yes, I almost did not place any purple flowers, but oh, I did place a couple of these one from romantic garden, so never mind. And here we have another outside dance floor. Here we have some music so that you have some music to dance for. A piano, as I said, and an aisle with wedding arch. And you can find it named Pink Wedding Venue on my gallery. My gallery name is gloverunt, just like my YouTube name. So go and check in there. And I think this is gonna be the end of this video. So thank you all for watching. You can subscribe to my channel if you like videos like that. And I think that is a goodbye.